While we wait for our voluptuous, blonde, blue-eyed white queen Emma Frost to get here, I figured we could go over the winners and losers for the Season 2 patch notes. This isn't going to cover every character, but it's going to cover the majority that is going to be affected the most. Even though some of these changes are very small, I did want to still go over them. Let's start with the losers, because there's way less losers than there are winners. The first loser, Captain America. Captain America, all he lost is 50 health on his shield and 25 actual health. Which, the base health, who cares really? The shield health, I guess 50, it could be the difference between death and living. But the 25 health, I don't think is going to matter too much. So, Cap is what it is. Next is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange didn't lose too much either. He lost the Daggers of the Knack damage from 18 to 16. He lost 2 per, and that's per projectile. So I don't know how many shoots, I think it's 5. So I guess technically he does 10 less damage, which is a pretty hefty nerf, I ain't gonna lie. Overall, that's pretty hefty. And then his damage conversion from the Maelstrom of Madness went down by a 0.1%, which doesn't mean shit, basically. But here's the thing. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Doctor Strange. He lost his team up. He has a new one with Scarlet Witch, which I didn't look into it. I don't know what it does yet. But what I do know, his Maelstrom of Madness buff with Hulk is gone. That's just for Iron Man now. So that is the big hit to him, because that was a lot of burst damage he lost now. But for the tank category, there was one more, Magneto. Magneto, his ult got nerfed pretty hard. He needs an extra 300 more energy to get his ult. So it went from 3100 to 3400. That's not the biggest thing. Metallic Fusion isn't in the game no more. So just like Strange, Magneto lost his team up. Huge deal, honestly. Magneto can play without it, obviously, but that team up lets him hit really freaking hard. And on top of that, it was just a really good freaking way to build ult. Now he takes longer to build ult, and he doesn't have to team up to help him build it faster. And it kind of sucks, because this is the time Scarlet Witch got buffed into oblivion. So this would have been a good time to see how that team up would have worked. But it's gone. Next, we're going to cover over the DPS, which there's only 2. Star-Lord, I'm not even going to cover the exact details of it, but he has damage fall off on his ult. Huge damage fall off, and it scales all the way up to 80%. That is a big fucking deal. So Star-Lord pretty much has to be relatively close to the fight when he uses his ult now. Doesn't sound too bad, but yes, he has high mobility, he has invincible flips, all of that good stuff. He reloads very quick, he bursts you down super fast with his ult. But it makes him more susceptible to getting caught by some CC or some shit like that. Easier for Cloak and Dagger to blind him, which if he's blinded, he can't freaking shoot through it. He can't, like, lock on. But the last one is Bucky, aka Winter Soldier. Fuck this character, I hope he dies in the ditch. What happened to Bucky is his hook got a fat nerf. His hook went from 8-second cooldown to 12 seconds. That is a huge nerf, and he deserves every bit of it. Fuck that motherfucker, bro. On top of that, he lost the base, they reduced the base damage of Kraken Impact from 100 to 80, but it lowered the Cullen threshold from 20% to 15%. So overall, Winter Soldier got nerfed. There's another one in there that they don't say in here, obviously. He is no longer part of his team up with Punisher. He's not part of the Rocket team up. If you don't know what the Rocket team up was, pretty much Robert throws his thing on the floor, and if him and Punisher stay within it, they get infinite ammo and a higher fire rate. Huge buff for those 2 characters. But Winter Soldier's not part of it. He got this new team up with Cap that I don't know what it does yet, but honestly, it doesn't look as good, so it might be a little fucking rough. I guess you could call it a form of mobility, but we'll see what it does. But that's all the losers. I'm not going to say the Thing is that bad. It's like a 5% loss on damage reduction. Thing doesn't make it here. Now let's cover what I'm excited about. The winners of this. And boy, there is some doozies in here. There's some crazy ones. First, my favorite one is Hulk. And that's because, yes, when I play tank, I'm a Hulk main. I've been a Hulk main since before the game came out. Hulk is my favorite character from Marvel, at least my favorite male character from Marvel. So, second none, I don't give a fuck. Hulk is the GOAT. So what Hulk got is, he got increased his base movement speed from 600 to 650. So Hulk can walk you down faster once he gets on you. Next, second part is his gamma barrier, or his freaking shield, went from 12-second cooldown to 10 seconds. Huge change. That 2 seconds less means he can dive, because Hulk almost never dives without it, which means he can dive in way more often. Well, not way more often, but he can dive in more often. Over the course of a match, those extra few dives you get could be the difference between winning and losing. And then on top of that, they decreased the minimum charge needed for his leap from 0.7 seconds to 0.5. This means every half second he can jump around. The moment he lands, if he lands for a full half second and no one does something to stop him from losing his charge, he can just dip right out almost immediately, or dip towards someone behind you, wherever he wants to go. That is a huge game changer. Hulk got some of the biggest and best buffs. Next, we'll cover Penny Parker, which got some big changes too. They have to help tanks, obviously. Tank gotta still be fun because nobody wants to play the goddamn role. But Penny got some enhancements to her primary attack, basically. What they did is her web cluster, which is her primary fire, they can crit now. That probably won't matter much, but it's good to have it. Obviously, it can help build ult charge, all that stuff. You can get a few lucky kills with it. But those can crit, and while she's shooting, she doesn't move as slow. She used to go down to, I think, 20%, now she goes to 40%. And on top of this, her base health went up. This is a big change. She gained an extra 100 health. She's at 750 HP, which, it's a girl inside of a goddamn mech. She deserves to have some of the highest health with that damn mech she's in. And her kind of lack of mobility. Her mobility is awkward. Well, Penny, really good, because also on top of that, I'm going to assume now her max health is going to be 900, counting her bonus shield she gives herself. Because that should mean her bonus health threshold goes up too, I'm assuming. But we'll see. Next is Thor. Thor didn't get too much, but it was enough. Pretty much, he got an extra 75 health, which is a big deal, don't get me wrong. Thor, I'm assuming he's losing, I guess he lost his team up anchor, or he may, I can't remember. Because I'm thinking, why would they give him extra health? Maybe that is why, I don't know. But they gave him also another, he got the Hulk buff. He has an extra 50 movement speed, so he can keep up with people a lot more too. He doesn't really need to, because he just runs at you and tackles you all game anyway. But I appreciate it. Thor, I don't see that often. When I do, they do usually be struggling, so I'm glad to see that. Next, for the DPS category, we're gonna start off with the first one, Black Widow. If you don't play her, which, don't try to lie to me, motherfucker, less than 1% of the player base plays her. So, and that's across all ranks, so don't motherfucking lie to me. Black Widow, pretty much what they did is they added a new effect that she can shoot after going into Edge Dancer, which is her kick. After you go into the second part, you can immediately shoot, and after her ultimate. So what this means is, from what I'm understanding, if I'm taking a guess, is usually if you shoot and then doing the action with her, she still has to reload her gun after she finishes whatever action you did. Now, when you do the ult or the second part Edge Dancer, the gun will automatically be reloaded, I'm guessing. That's what that means, and the same thing for her ult. So you should be able to shoot somebody, then ult them, and then shoot them. Because if you didn't know, fun fact, her a body shot plus her ultimate is not enough to kill somebody unless the ult was charged up a bit, which is usually not. And by the time you charge it and they hear the plasma, they might dip. Next, when it comes to wins, is Hawkeye. Hawkeye got a few changes. Those shits were good. So they reduced the slow effect while charging the bow from 30% to 20%. So he doesn't move as slow while his bow is charged up. On top of that, his hypersonic arrow basically does another 10 damage in total if you hit the first part and second part. And then his ult got a fat buff. decreased the energy cost for his ult from 3,700 needed to 3,100, and the draw speed is it's not slight. It's a very slight buff. It's not nothing to really talk about. But that is a fat buff. He's getting his ult. I'm not gonna say super fast, but he gets ult a lot faster. I'm not gonna lie. The ult is definitely, Hawkeye's kit is awkward. Like, his kit doesn't feel really good, and this is a bunch of random shit slapped together. Like, randomly melee attacks deflecting, the big sword slash knock people off him. Like, his kit was always a little off to me. So, giving him, and his ult always had potential, but I never seen anybody really do anything with it. Like, oh, use the explosive arrow. You have to get a good ass angle. You usually gotta be pretty high above them to get that set up to fucking burst people down with it. You usually just spam fire at the shadows that you see in front of you. But I'm glad he got some changes. He is annoying when there's a really good one, he just takes over the lobby. But they deserve it because they're playing fucking Hawkeye and he's pretty hard to play. Like, if I play Widow, it is like one time ever I took over a lobby and I was proud of that. Granted, it was silver, but I did it. I will take that. Next, Mr. Fantastic. What they did for Mr. Fantastic is a lot of shit. I will go over all this. I play him a lot too. Yes, damn, I just played all the bad DPS. Holy shit. Mr. Fantastic and Black Widow might be my favorites. That's the crazy part too. And I want to learn Psylocke. But that all being besides the point. When they did that, him is a lot of shit. First thing first, he got extra 25 HP. Don't sound like a lot, but you gotta remember, this is a DPS technically. This is a DPS with already way higher than average DPS HP. Him and Wolverine were the only two at 350. I think Wolverine's 350. Now, he's the highest DPS with 375. On top of that, he can they boosted the damage of Stretch Punch by 5, and in his inflated state, it went to 80 from 75. Flexible Elongation, aka back shots, has a new effect. When you use the back shots, the enemies get a slow effect, and it reduces the cooldown time. Wait, no, they reduce the cooldown time of the back shots from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, which I think was the old version of it, but I don't know how I feel about that. It is what it is, though. I'm cool with them doing that part. The slow effect, I don't know what's the purpose of it. It's cool to have it, but does he really need to slow you? You're gonna have a hard time getting out of his range. And if you're slowed, unless you have burst mobility, you're not really gonna be getting out of his range very quickly. But I guess it helps your team. On top of that, they reduce the elasticity gain from elastic strength, which is, I think, the thing where you can grab someone and flame them together. And he goes from 30 to 20. But while elasticity provided by Stretch Punch is increased from 5 to 8. So every punch gives you an extra 3, basically. And after entering the inflated state, the bonus health provided to himself has been reduced. So he lost 50 of the bonus health he gets now. And then there's a new feature. When he pops his ult Brainiac Bounce, he immediately gains bonus health equal to that gain when entering the inflated state. This is a big ass change, and it's a big, good fucking change. Basically, if you don't know about Mr. Fantastic, what you would normally do, because he can get bursted through his ult pretty easily, or he gets hard to kill, or he's easy to kill during his ult, you would basically just wait until you go into your inflated state to ult, and then you would basically end up wasting your inflated state, because you needed to ult. Now, the moment you get your ult, I guess you can just pop it if you want, so you can just have the extra health, and I'm guessing that extra health is gonna last until the ult ends and then probably bleed off, which I am fucking A-okay with that. Mr. Fantastic needs help. That's my boy. I don't think he's trash. I think he's pretty decent, actually. But the people have spoken. Next, Moon Knight we gotta talk about. Yes, his Crescent Dart projectile speed went up from 120 to 150, which is his primary fire. AKA, I'm not giving you motherfuckers excuses to miss your shots 90 times in a row no more. Because he was like, oh, but the projectiles are so slow, it's so hard to hit them. He needs this reward for hitting them. Okay, now those shits move a lot faster. So, get shit done, my boy. Next, We got Moonblade. Oh boy, this change, I hate this. Basically, his big version of his shit when he just flings that big ass moon. Every time that thing bounces up to 3 times, I think. Yeah, it gives you 25 HP, or 3 or 4 times. Every time it bounces off of someone, you get 25 bonus health. And it up to a max 100. In 3 seconds after bonus health stops increasing, it falls off. Yeah, it has, obviously, like most bonus health, it's gonna fall off eventually, unless you're like Rocket's little thing. But they sped up Moonlight Hook, pretty much his little hook to himself. He hooks himself to the ground. That thing, the hook jump, is slightly faster when it comes to the pulling part. Don't care about that one. And then his ult got a weird change. I don't know how to feel about this. I play him decently, but I don't pay attention to him, so y'all can tell me if this is a buff or nerf. I'm gonna say this is probably, in theory, a nerf, but he extend his ultimate lasts a second longer, and the number of talent generated falls down is from 14 to 18. But, and also also the fall speed of the talent has been enhanced, so they fall down a bit faster. And now, but this is the thing, there's a new damage fall off mechanic. Pretty much the further you are away from the middle, the weaker the ultimate gets. Y'all can decide to tell me if that's a buff overall or enough, but they got some good changes that benefit it. But the damage fallout on the outer ends, I don't know if that's a good, or I don't know if that's like enough to outweigh the good. I don't know if the good outweighs the bad or not. Y'all can let me know. Next, Scarlet Witch. Probably the biggest buff on here. This is not counting her team up with Strange. I don't even fucking know what that team up does. But that counts her team up with Strange, which Strange is a very commonly played character. And his nerfs aren't going to do enough to get rid of him. So, yeah. She might be a fucking menace now. But they nerfed her survivability in there. Basically what they did is the Chaos Control. Yes, that black hedgehog. When you use Chaos Control, her freaking little suction thing, if I remember correctly, it used to do percent damage. Now they got rid of the percent damage. And now she does 80 a second. That doesn't sound like a lot. I guess if you're getting healed already, it's not. But that means she can kill most supports in about 3 seconds. Slightly over 3 seconds. Honestly, technically faster when you start weaving in those little bursts. And then the burst damage actually went up by 5 too. So, yeah, she can slap the fuck out of you and fuck you up. On top of that, they increased the cooldown of her Mystic Projection, aka her fade, from 8 seconds to 2 seconds, so she needs 2 more seconds to get them back. And reduce the phase time, so instead of phasing for 2 seconds, she phased for 1.5 seconds. Which is a decent nerf. She needed that shit. But that was the one thing that was good about her. It was really easy to get out of a fight that you didn't want to be in as long as you have both of your fades up. Even if you had one, depending on what to fight with. But on top of that, now we got her last thing. This is a rework for her ult. It is so weird. So they reworked the slow effect of the ult to start at 1.5 seconds after the ult activates, and then it scales down to 35% slow over the course of 3.5 seconds. So the first 1.5 seconds you're at full speed, then you start gradually, quickly, because it's not that long of a time, slowing down to what I'm guessing is slightly faster than what her speed was before. Next, I think that might be actually for DPS. Yes, that's all the winners for DPS. Now let's cover my favorite topic, the strategist. There's only like 2 to 2.5, I will say, I guess, that I can put on here. I know people want to talk about Adam Warlock. I'm not going to say if that's good or bad or not. Because when they did the Adam, I'll let you know really quick. They pretty much, his real ult, Soulbond. Let's be real, that's his real ult. Soulbond got a fat ass nerf. Soulbond is a 30-second cooldown ability. That shit is at 40 seconds now. You know some characters get their ults faster than he'll get Soul Bond back, like Moon Knight. Fucking crazy. But his Soul Bond got nerfed so his ultimate can run, his actual ultimate. So Karmic Revival now restores 30% of a fallen ally's max health instead of fixed 100. Now, what this does mean is that his ult is actually worse for most DPS and supports when they get revived, because they're gonna have lower health than normal, even lower than before, from what I can understand. But it helps tanks a lot. A tank can come back with 2-something HP, and a tank can make that work. 200 HP, that's DPS full HP, basically. Tanks can take that and run out there and fight, and mix with their defensive abilities. They can go hold point and help out while your team gets healed by the other support, shit like that. So, my man Adam, I don't know what to say about his stuff. I'm gonna leave him in the neutral category because his ult has a lot of bad practitioners, if you catch my drift. A lot of people that's been paid to throw their team into the fucking wolves, but we'll get into that. Cloak and Dagger got like a pseudo buff. Basically, the trails and her ult all end at the same time, which they didn't used to. But since they end when the last trail ends, technically it's a buff when you think about it, because the trails, the other 3 trails all last, like it all doesn't last any longer than normal, than it already does. But if the older trails last the exact amount of time as the last one, then that means technically the trails are lasting, those first 3 trails are lasting a bit longer than they did before. Technically a buff. You could call it quality life, I'm calling it a buff. But next, these are the 2 I want to talk about the most. Rocket Raccoon, let's go over him first, because Mantis is my main, that's my only Lord character right now. I want to go over Rocket. What they did to Rocket is great. Rocket lost, he got some decent nerfs. Like, he went from 70 healing a second on his spheres to 50, but then they added a new effect of a one-time healing of 55 health to allies hit, which, that's actually, now that I read that again, I thought that was overall nerf. That sounds like a buff, actually. I'd rather do that. So that means every orb you shoot, there's gotta be a small cooldown or something. Because every orb you shoot gives 55 immediately, and then it heals over time. It's kind of crazy. And then the projectile speed reduction, all that shit, who cares? Next, his cooldown for a jetpack dash went from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. This is a fat nerf. And on top of that, it lost 2 meters per dash. So, what this means is Rocket's gonna have a harder time getting away from you. Yes, he's still short and fast. He has the wall run. But your dashes having fucking 10 seconds, an extra 4 seconds between cooldowns that means like if you get hunted hard and you need to use both right off the bat, you gotta at least stay out the fight for 10 seconds or stay away from danger for the next 10 seconds. If you get dove, you better stay next to a wall so you can run on that and hope somebody can save you. The most interesting change in these whole patch notes though, Rocket Raccoon's ultimate. Y'all already know, y'all gotta think of hearing, hey team, enjoy the amplifier. I don't care, I like that ult, but let's go over it. It got nerfed. I'm just joking. Technically it did though. What they did is reduce the freaking the damage boost on it. The damage boost on this ult went from 40% to 25%. You're like, hey, why the fuck would they do that? His ultimate is garbage. No, let me stop. What they added is a new effect though. During the ability's duration, all allies that get linked to it, so anytime you see that line touching you from the ult, it gives out bonus health points. It doesn't heal you, so if you have 10 health and it starts healing you technically, quote unquote, but it doesn't actually heal you. It just gives you a shield, basically. It'll give you up to 150 HP shield, but it won't go past that no matter what. And it'll keep doing that per second. So what this means basically, also the ult is harder to charge too. 3,700 to 4,000. big ass change. I think that's tied with Adam for the longest charging ult in the game, which is scary. It's scary that this ult is the one that they decided needed this change. Like, we don't know. We have no idea how strong or weak this ult is gonna be with the changes. But for them to give it Adam Warlock level cooldown, I guess we'll see. It does sound like it's gonna be strong. I say that because Captain America's ultimate is very fucking strong for survival. And this one is pseudo healing. So if Rocket's the only one on your team, he can spam heal you while you're getting that covering you, and you will eventually go back to full health, or at least decent enough to get back into the fight. Now my baby, last but not least, she got two things on my baby Mantis. All they did is the effects of her healing flower and allied inspiration can be stacked up to a maximum of 16 seconds. I know some of y'all don't play Mantis because you got the ego, you got the DPS ego, but not the DPS skills that deserve that ego. But that all being besides the point, fuck you. What they decide to do is, this one I'm kind of speculating. So we all know it lasts for 16 seconds. If you don't know what Mantis Blue Orb does, it gives out a damage boost. The damage boost gives out 12% damage. It comes with the extra damage for the next 8 seconds. Now it's 16 seconds, so we know if you throw 2 at somebody, they're getting 16 seconds. But it says specifically, effects of healing flower and ally inspiration can be stacked up to a max of 16 seconds. Now, it says the effects. The healing and the damage boost is technically part of the effect. So I'm just assuming on this one, on a technicality, she can boost your damage to 24% without an ult based on the fact that you would have to use 2 orbs, which I think honestly is a fair trade. Because the Mantis run out of orbs, she basically doesn't have any abilities besides her sleep. But oh yeah, actually there's another change. This one is a big one, honestly. Usually this doesn't matter, but this is a problem. She lost 25 HP. I don't understand why Cloak and Dagger gets to be fine and don't get touched that much. Well, they do, I guess. They hit their ults and shit. But their ult actually kept getting better. But Mantis lost 25 HP. Now, that don't sound like much, but that means Black Panther can kill you fast. That means any of the dive characters that you think are fucking annoying, the combos that don't work to kill you will leave you on like 10. They won't leave you on 10. So, all those Wombo combo dive characters are gonna fuck your shit up. But, that's all I gotta say for the winner and losers. Do y'all got a different opinion than me from the patch notes that you've seen? Leave those opinions in the comments, let me know what you think. Obviously, this is before Emma Frost and all that came out, and before season 2. So, I don't know if this list could be completely fucked up. But only time will tell. If y'all want to see more Marvel videos, check out the channel. If you want to see shit like, pretty much I'm just going to stick to Marvel for right now. So if you want to see anything Marvel related, subscribe. It does not that often, but sometimes I'm on Twitch, you know, if you want to come over and see Twitch, see me just in my natural vibe. It's a little different than how I am on YouTube, you know, check it out, and, you know what I'm saying, shout out, all that good shit. But that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys think, obviously, like I said, True Kingston, and I'm out.